Well. Suppose. Oh man. I wasn't gonna do this tonight, y'all, but all right. Oh no! That's what happens when I don't proof my stuff ahead of time. Hold on, everyone. I got this. No. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. It's always fun when you're live, but when people watch this on like replay later, which some people do, it's always awkward when you start out with nothing there. You know what it is? There we go. Okay. Whew. I thought my camera was broken for a second. That was gonna be awful. My camera's not cheap, and if it ever breaks, I don't think I can replace it. So, yeah. If you ever see a GoFundMe from, oh goodness gracious, if you ever see a GoFundMe from like from this channel, it will be because my camera broke. Because it is a Blackmagic camera, and it is the most expensive thing I ever bought for this channel, and other than having an editor and a retainer, which is a whole other thing, but nevertheless, there we go. Yeah, right. Thanks, Mike. I will not. I'm streaming CCS from a different platform, so it should be great. I do have a Blackmagic camera. It's expensive, and yeah, it's a Blackmagic 6K studio camera. It's pricey. And I want more, but I can't afford it. I actually emailed Blackmagic. I've emailed them numerous times to be like, hey, do you want to sponsor a live show about a Disney card game on Monday nights? And like send me some cameras? And they're not interested. So maybe one day. Maybe one day. So yeah, video call is great. Hey, thanks for the subscribe over. Thanks, Spartan Stickles. Thanks for the subscribe. I still don't know why it does that. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna delete this alert box here. See if this does a thing. Yeah, okay. Now I shouldn't get 2 alerts. Yeah, appreciate the subscribe. Super cool. Yeah, this, okay. I wasn't gonna do this tonight because I'm not gonna lie, I spent today we bought a car, and I spent the rest of the day doing a bunch of life stuff, but then on the content side, I was rushing to get a bunch of stuff done for a video that we released right after the D23 panel, because we had an exclusive video with Elaine Chase, which was super cool, and I had to have that ready to go like right at 9:30 our time. And after that, what I should be doing, Mike, is prepping for Charlie's tomorrow, because we're going to carry the Charlie stream thanks to Mike and some other awesome folks who rushed last minute to enable us to stream Charlie. So I'm going to do that. And so I should be prepping for that and then going to bed. But instead, I had to talk because I knew some of the news that was coming out at D23 because of the interview. I knew about collector boosters and the illustrator rares. And here I was thinking, I'm like, okay, that will be kind of the news of this panel, like the big news, and then there'll be some other things. No, there were all the things that they talked about, all the things. And there are, I don't know. I know a lot of people have a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions about a lot of stuff that was revealed. I'm trying to send all these pictures over to my computer from my phone where I snagged them. so we can talk about them, because it was a lot. It was a lot. I think, yeah, D23, yeah. Still Austin. No, it's not, actually. It's tea tonight. It's a bag of tea to get ready for tomorrow. So, that's what it is, Eric. Race Duty minivan. Yes, we did get a minivan. It was the only minivan that Aaron would get. It's a Kia Carnival. We looked at a bunch of different others. A lot of people said that we should buy an Odyssey. I love Hondas. But the thing about the Carnival is it doesn't look like a minivan. And so Aaron could be convinced to drive it. I tried other minivans and Aaron's like, no, it looks like a minivan. The Carnival was just like sporty enough that it didn't look like it. So most expensive car we ever bought. We'll see if, but it's used. It's like a year old, but it's pretty posh. So anyway, yeah, D23, Mal, second child. Yeah, the best people you know to minivan people. It's true. It's true. Phone app, ink drops. You all saw the news. Okay, all right. I gotta get these photos over to my phone, or over to my computer, and so I can pull them up. We can talk about some of the highlights from the D23 panel. There's a lot I want to talk about. While I'm doing that, what are you all excited about? Like, out of all the announcements, out of those of you who watched, and I'm seeing from the chat that many of you have watched, like, what was the thing that, I wouldn't even say most excited you, like either excited you or that you have the most emotion about? Because I know for some of the things, and one product in particular, people's emotions are mixed, and I get it. I get it. Let's see. Yeah, the Racer D says that the calming soundscapes are kind of neat in the Carnival. Yeah, Carnival's really neat. It's got a lot of tech in it though, which scares me because I've never been tempted to get like the extra warranty stuff. This is the first time ever I've been tempted from a dealer because there's so much electronics in there that I'm just scared of everything breaking, literally everything. Things got LiDAR in it. It's wild. Yeah. Okay. Online client. Yeah. So for those who didn't watch, I see Spartan Sickles, Lorcana Adventures. Yeah, so many people saying the online client. The thing is, I agree with you. Like, back in the day, there was a way that was super easy to play Lorcana online. And I know it's difficult to talk about for a variety of reasons. I know that, yada, yada, yada. But we'll just say that there was a way to play pretty easily. And the thing is, I hear you, Lorcana Adventures, a parent who can't make it to LGS as much. I'm with you. Like, I love my local league. I love my local game stores. I go to every event I can. But the reality is that with work, with the toddlers, with the limited amount of time I spend with them, going out on a Monday night, and to league night and missing that time with my daughter is hard. And it also is not fair to Aaron when I get to do that. And also Monday nights I'm streaming my show. I already give up a night streaming the show, but it's really hard. And so for people who have certain lifestyles, whether it's work or parents or whatever, who just cannot make it to game night, to physical play, the ability to throw on, to grab your computer and to play 2 or 3 games sitting in bed before you go to sleep, or your phone for that matter, is it changes everything. It changes everything. It democratizes the game in a way, because frankly, and it's not about, it's somewhat about free time, but it's more about where in your life that free time falls. Because again, based on your job, based on your family situation, you may not have free time at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock when league night is. But you may have free time if you wake up early in the morning, or you may have free time, when the kids go to bed at 9 o'clock. Well, nobody's playing league at 9. Well, some people probably playing league at 9 o'clock, but you're not going to drive to LGS at 9 o'clock. But if from 9 to 10, you can carve out that time on a weeknight to play a couple games with your deck online, like, that matters. So online clients democratize the game in a way. And so I can understand why people are very excited about an online client. I'm excited about an online client. I'll tell you the one thing that I'm not excited about. There's one thing that doesn't excite me, and it's selfish. And it is that when an online client becomes a thing, as a content creator, like, you have to stream online gameplay. So like my Twitch, like, I will not be able to compete without leveraging, videos of online play for a variety of things, which is fine. It's a whole other level of like work. But it's a true statement. Like, you just can't do it. Hey Scott, are you at D23, Scott? I see you there. Catching up in the chat real quick. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yep, online client, different enough that it won't cannibalize, like Pokemon, yeah. RMB will be streaming again, 100%. See, RMB is a perfect example. Like, RMB, I met, he doesn't know this, but, well, I say we met, but RMB, I started watching his streams early on. When Aaron Rubin wasn't streaming, we'd hop over to RMB's streams and watch him play online. The Pepita enchantment made you emotional. Yes. That movie makes me emotional, for sure. I haven't signed up yet for the online client, because I will. I just haven't had time. I just jumped right on here when I saw Super Sealed's going to go so hard online. Yes. Yep. Yeah, the online client, I can understand the excitement. Splink says what? I watch your streams too. Okay, so that was a whole thing. Hold up, I'm gonna pull up the image here. But I know people are waiting for this for ages for a variety of reasons, and yeah, it's. Oh, hold on, I need to. I'm gonna switch over to the screen mirror view here, but because it may break, it may be broken. I have to fix it real quick. Look at that, it worked just fine. So yeah, so this was shown here. If anybody needs it, you can sign up for updates here. I assume they're going to need like beta testers at some point, probably, and this is probably how you get on that list. So there you go. Yeah, I know this is super. If you really want to take the next step as a TCG, I mean, having an online client is really what you need. And there's not much more I can say about it because it's been said for the last few years. And but I can understand kind of the not investing in a client when you're launching the TCG because, for a company to take that plunge, it's a lot. And so the game kind of proves itself a little bit. It proves itself the gameplay, and then has the play race, and then you launch this. And man, this is going to, if RPH like crashed servers, can you imagine what this is going to do when it's released? It's going to be nuts. I am interested though. Yeah, Splink's talking about code cards. I'm interested about how they're going to do it because there is a huge feels bad. The platform has to be paid for somehow. And depending on how you do it, it could be a huge feels bad. Because you don't want to, like, in-game purchases, are a way to do it. But you don't want to have a system where you need people to spend a ton of money in person and then a ton of money online in order to be able to play the game. So I just hope, however they do it, whether it's code cards or whatever else. I mean, do y'all know what code cards are? I don't know. But whether it's code cards or whatever else, like, they have to do it in such a way that it doesn't feel like people are paying twice, like to pay digitally and in person. The other thing is, the other risk with online play is you have to make sure somehow that you protect like the in-person league experience. And there's different ways you can do that, but I would like to hopefully, that leagues don't suffer, with an online client, which I know is always a fear. So yeah. Ready for the Lorcana budget triple? Yeah. RMB, you're gonna do let's do a 24-hour stream when the digital client comes out. I challenge you now. 24-hour stream. 24-hour charity stream when an online client shows up. That's what we're going to do. Unless you get redemptions, yeah. Yeah, there's so many different ways to go. All right, let me pull out some other news. So, I guess I should... where I've been brawling for the last few hours... Not brawling, where I've been having discussions is over... Actually, before I do that, let's just do this. Let's just jump into looking at this thing. Because you can talk about the other thing. All right, thoughts, everyone, on this. Because it's pretty wild. Everybody soak it in for a minute. Because I have thoughts. Yeah, you'll hear about that. So so one thing I will say, I will preface this with, I think it's no secret that based on how I've had the ability to interact with members of the company and the team, very closely for a variety of different ways, and for that reason, I do believe that everybody at the company has the best interest of the game and the community at heart. And so I'm always, I think, an optimist, and I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to different moves that they make. And so I think that's no secret. And I like to say that right up front because I am an optimist. One thing I will say about, before I talk about how beautiful these cards are with collector boosters is I dislike what collector boosters did to Magic. War of the Spark was the last set that they did before collector boosters came out. That was back in 2018, 2019, 2018 maybe. And then Throne of Eldraine, they introduced collector boosters, and then they did this whole thing with set boosters and play boosters, and it was dumb. And so I was worried about a lot of different impacts that collector boosters could have on Disney Lorcana. What I will say is that I appreciate the way I think it's been executed so far quite a bit, because it doesn't change the set boosters or the display boosters, and what it's not doing is the serialized cards are really, really cool, but they are so rare that the value of the iconics and the enchanteds you pull from set boosters, they will be impacted some, because for two reasons. One of which is, whales will be chasing the serialized cards. Two, though, is if the pull rates are unchanged in set boosters, and which I think Elaine said in her interview that they won't be, so they'll be pretty close. And you add enchanteds and iconics to collector boosters, obviously the populations of those cards will go up a bit. The question is how much. But of course, as the game expands, there's more demand, and so the price may stabilize, whatever. But all that being said, when they did it in Magic, they did it in such a way that, you couldn't pull... there was so much value in collector boosters that normal booster boxes were pointless, because there was just no value in them. There still will be some decent EV in set boosters. And in fact, if print runs don't increase of display boosters that much, and we continue to see the demand that we see with Attack of the Vine, Attack of the Vine, for a lot of folks, unless you're super plugged in, was very difficult to get at under $200. And the secondary market prices, they're still $200. A lot of game stores took care of people with MSRP. And so, some people did get them at MSRP, but for a lot of people, they're $200. If collector boosters have the effect of pushing down the value to MSRP for players, etc., then that could be a good thing. So I don't know. For me, I'm cautiously optimistic about collector boosters as a whole. But I completely understand the sentiment that everybody has around them because there's a lot of baggage for people who come from other TCGs. But I'm optimistic. The one thing I will say is that illustrious rares are really, really cool. And they are going to be impossible to pull. They're going to be impossible to pull. There are going to be very few people who actually, own these cards. And, there came a point in Lorcana for me, because I'm a huge collector, and I have boxes, I have binders, I have slab cards, I have one of every sealed product that's ever existed in English. But there comes a point where you have to go, you know what? You just have to accept you're not going to be able to own everything. And there was a point that came to me with prize cards, especially in season 2, season 1. But even during season 1, like the prices were such that I was like, maybe one day I can sell a bunch of stuff and buy Golden Mickey, but now I can't. But with serialized, with the illustrative rares, like they're going to be so few that very few people are going to get to own one. But for that reason, like if you ever pull one of these and you own one, like getting to hold and own and be in possession of one of only 23 cards in existence in the world is really cool. It's really, really cool. So, but the other thing is, like, oh, thanks on Cage Games. I appreciate it. The thing is, without collector boosters, illustrative rares don't exist, right? So you have to have the product, the reason to create these cards. And if you put illustrative, like let's say you wanted to create illustrative rares, and you wanted to create the serialized rarity, you cannot put those in standard display boosters. You just can't. If you do, the price spikes that we saw with Wilds, the price spikes that we saw with Attack of the Vine are child's play. Because these cards, realistically, they're going to be 5-figure cards. The question is how high, right? I've seen people estimate, my initial estimate was somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 a card. I saw somebody in a chat say, no, these are $50,000 cards. There might be more, depending on the card. And like, if you put those in display boosters, you can't, right? You just can't, because the value would be way too high. And yeah, so you create this collector booster product. Now you have a product to put these in, and now they exist. Because without collector boosters, we don't have illustrative rares. We don't have this piece of original artwork. And I am a big fan of the fact that we get, Disney Lorcana, like new original Disney Lorcana artwork. That these cards exist, right? That this artwork exists, that we can see them. I will, I just aspire to own one illustrative rare, in my life, right? Like, but there's gonna be 6 per set, right? But so over the years, there's gonna be, dozens of these, and there'll be a bunch of chances to pull them. But if I own one, that'll be super cool. And they exist, which is super cool. Let's talk about the card itself. Like, so obviously, one of the things that I've been critical of with Disney Lorcana, that I was critical of right off the bat, loved enchanteds, loved that we had enchanted rarities. But when you took a look left and right at what other TCGs were starting to do to push how special their cards looked by combining textured foiling, gold embossing, different card frames, all of that, Lorcana wasn't pushing the envelope with their early sets. With Fabled, obviously we got the gold embossing, and now with some of the stuff that they're doing with some of the textures and the gold embossing, things like that, like I think a lot of their cards have more of a premium feel, and I like the direction that they're going, and they're really great. So when I look at this card, one of the things that I'm saying is, if this is like this super rare, almost impossible to pull out of the pack card, if I look to the left and the right at sports cards, at other TCGs that are out there doing fun, fancy stuff, does this card stand up to them? does this, if I saw this in a case and I didn't play Disney Lorcana, would I go, oh my goodness, what is that game? What is that card? I need to look at it. And my answer is yes. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Hazy, I appreciate that a ton. That means a lot. I still have no idea why I have multiple alert boxes popping up. All right, delete you. Okay, maybe that fixed it. Somebody else follow so I can see if that fixed it. Or unfollow and follow. Yes, I do think this does. Like, this to me looks like a top-end premium card. Hey, Lorcana Adventure, look at that, it fixed it. There you go, thank you. I need a new fancy, like, noise when people discover. All right. Yeah, Splinks, don't reset your timer. You're one of the OGs, Splinks, I think, from way back when I actually started doing these streams. But this looks absolutely fantastic. So, okay, step one, checks the block. This looks like a premium card, and it holds up against other premium cards in other card games. I love the frame. I love the frame is minimal. I love the frame, that the frame is going to have like gold embossing there. I really, really love how they've minimized what they needed to on the bottom. You do have Disney, copyright Disney, that's important. You do have the set number, you need that. But everything else is kept to a minimum, and look what they've done with the artist name. It's phenomenal. The fact that they're choosing to highlight these artists is great. I will say, I like the philosophy. They're all, Newring asks on Twitch, are they all X23? Yes, they are all X23. There's going to be 6 of them in Into the Ink Dark, 1 for each color. And there's only 23 of each, meaning there's only 138 to pull in the whole set. 138 in the world. By the way, as a random note, side note, in like sports cards, it's very, very common for people to track what like one of ones and stuff have been pulled, so that you know what's left out there, so the value of sealed product and all that. I think that's going to happen here, where people are going to create trackers, and every set we are going to, as people post online that they've found certain cards, it's gonna be very, very common for people to check the block so we know what's left. And so over the years, you'll be like, yeah, we haven't seen the, the number 8 Maleficent card still. It could be in a sealed pack, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I believe they will all be in English. I actually wanted to ask this in my interview with Elaine Chase, Lorcana Adventures, but I did not. But you can intuit, I think, based on their answers, that they will be in English worldwide. So, anyway. Yeah, if anybody didn't watch, I didn't get to do I'm really appreciative. Ravensburger allowed me to do an exclusive interview with Elaine Chase, the head of TCGs for Ravensburger, because they very much wanted to get out the idea that, and the notion that they're really, really trying not to impact the standard booster box opening experience at all. And they wanted kind of the philosophy behind the illustrative rares and the collector boosters to kind of get out there. And so I got to do an exclusive interview with them, with Elaine, and it was pretty wonderful. I got it down to 15 minutes, posted a pretty condensed version, and yeah, so it's on YouTube. If anybody has any time and wants to go check it out, it's pretty cool. Anyway, but okay, where was I going with this? Art, okay. The other thing they've done with this is they've clearly chosen a vanilla card for this, right? Like, I don't know if all the cards, the illustrative rares in the first batch, will be vanilla cards. They may or they may not be. But I think they chose very specifically to reveal a vanilla card first. Or probably wait into this. Maleficent is a great card to reveal, but clearly revealing a vanilla card first allows them to showcase the art here and not the rules text. Because we all know, like, this is a game piece, right? Rules text is going to be on the card. It is on the card right now. But these cards are collector pieces, first and foremost. So, yeah. hold on a second. I want to answer a couple questions here before I talk more about this card because I got more to say. Gregor's, you have an interview with them on Sundays or anything people have to like? Anybody, if you have any questions that you want Gregor's to ask, Ravensburger, I assume, on Monday, he's on YouTube and chat, let him know. Nothing comes to mind right now because I had the opportunity to ask him questions, but I'm sure overnight I'll think of something, and I'll send you a note, Gregor's, if I think of anything. Do collected boosters will have better pull rates for the enchanted iconic rares? That is an interesting question, Kiara. Kiara asks if the collector boosters will have better pull rates for the enchanted and iconic rares. I have a two-part answer to that. The one is, yes, they will, because Ravensburger said they will. In my interview with Elaine, she said, a couple times, you'll have a better chance of pulling, enchanted and iconic rares. But the thing is, you can't apples to apples this with normal standard boosters, right? Because one, the number of packs in a collector booster will be, they haven't confirmed, I think, the number of packs in they have to have. I'll have to double check. But I know there's not 24 packs in a collector booster. So there are a lot fewer packs in a collector booster box. So how do you compare the actual odds, right? Like, okay. Start this answer again. You can absolutely compare the odds, right? Because if card for card, you can straight up compare the odds of pulling an enchanted versus in a normal pack versus a collector pack. But because the collector packs are going to be so much more expensive, what you actually have to think about is like the dollar chance, like how much you have to invest in the packs in order to pull a card, right? Because that's the real value, right? Like I'm going to go all hypothetical here, but let's hypothetically say the price of a collector booster is $25. The collector booster pack is $25, which means that you need to open 6 packs to equal the MSRP of a booster box. So if the pull rates were the same as a standard booster box, that would be ridiculous, right? Because you'd have to spend so much more to find an enchanted than you would otherwise. So clearly they have to be more. So what you really want is you have to think about it in terms of your investment into packs versus your odds of pulling an enchanted. If you spend, because right now, if you spend, this is a bad way to think about it, but if you were to spend, $400, if you can find a booster case for like $400 now, or $450, let's say, if you could find a booster case for that, which you can't nowadays, but in the old days you could. If you spent that amount of money, you were more than likely going to have an enchanted, because one per case. Now you're more than likely to have maybe 2 enchanted. So $400 equals enchanted-ish. It's terrible, terrible, very, very rough math. Like, I don't know I'm going this, but all it is to say, it's a complicated question. So officially, the collector boosters will have better pull rates for the enchanted iconics, but like, you can't think about it in terms of the actual pull rates. You have to think about it in terms of the monetary investment and based on the price of the collector boosters when they're released. Let's see. There's a card that looks like a gargoyle. Yeah, more gargoyles. Yeah. So, hey, good evening, Body Matt. Good to see you. Lorcana Crew says these are exciting. I think they are exciting. Gregor's makes a good comment before I talk about Kendall and this art. It's really tough. Everybody complains about collector. There are people complaining about collector boosters. But then everyone runs out and buys them to chase the cards. I don't know how I expect the company to react to that when people are buying the products. Hey, Smosho, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. And I fixed my alert box, so I only have one now. It has been showing 2 alert boxes for legitimately like a year because I'm bad at streaming. So that's good. That's good. Yeah, so the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, these are going to sell, and they're going to sell well because people are hunting these cards. The other thing is, I really want to see the foiling on the other cards, because depending on what the foiling looks like those could be pretty cool. The other pieces, side note tangent, especially now that we're getting alternate foil in or alternate foiling in the collector boosters, TCG Player and other sellers better start giving us a way to distinguish between different types of foils, because being able to distinguish between a normal printing and a cold foil on TCG Player right now is not adequate, is not accurate, and they need to stop doing it because they're not cold foils anymore, and we have to be able to distinguish between the different types of foiling. Like, you can't order a cold foil of a card from a set and get I don't know, it's a pet peeve of mine. But we need to start teaching people like how to refer to different types of foils and doing it right, because it's going to become an issue, especially now that collector boosters are out. Gregor, they're not announcing price per pack or box. They're not talking MSRP yet. I did ask. They were not talking about MSRP. Yeah, collector boosters. So one of the reasons that collector boosters are, AJ, I'm going to answer your question in a second. One of the reasons that collector boosters are really, really polarizing is they have been executed different ways in different TCGs so far. The two that really come to mind are Magic, who kind of pioneered it, and then you have Star Wars Unlimited, which a lot of people say that Star Wars Unlimited not killed the game with collector boosters, but didn't help the game. And I'm sure that there's some other games that have done it, but those are the two that really come to mind. And the problem is that so they've been executed a few different ways in those games, and because of the impact that those had on the games, people have certain associations with collector boosters and what their impact on the secondary market and what the standard booster box experience will be, and so they carry those in here, and it's perfectly understandable. Star Wars Unlimited flopped hard. It did. I remember, by the way, back when Disney Lorcana was coming out and Star Wars was coming out alongside it. I don't know if anybody remembers who was around back then, but everybody thought Star Wars Unlimited was going to be there was going to be this big battle between Star Wars Unlimited and Disney Lorcana, and Star Wars Unlimited was doing all these things right. Disney Lorcana was falling behind all that, but just saying. Yeah, Star Wars Unlimited didn't do well with those fantasy boosters. Thanks for the follow, Lexicana. I appreciate you. That's 3 followers tonight. 4 followers tonight. Look at you all. Secondary market price. AJ asked a good question. I'm afraid of the or made a statement. I'm afraid that the collector's packs will be like the Final Fantasy Magic set and be so unattainable. They probably will be. AJ, I mean, answer your other question first. Hey, Liam, this illustrious thing seems dangerous for the secondary market prices. What's your opinion? Dangerous in terms of what? I mean, it all depends on... Yeah, dangerous in terms of what? Here's what it is going to do, by the way. Illustrative Rares are going to bring a ton of new eyes on the game. And that's both good and bad. But when you have a scenario where you have any sort of card product, it could be a sports card, it could be TCG card, anything. But when you have, $20,000 cards, potentially, that you could pull from a pack of cards, it is going to bring a ton of people into the space, rippers, breakers, streamers, who are interested in chasing those cards. And so there's going to be a lot of people, some of the same people who jumped in during the hype of Wilds Unknown, that are gonna start paying attention to Disney Lorcana because these cards are out there and they exist. Good or bad, it's going to have impacts. And they may, those people may also take a look at, standard display booster boxes, but they may not. Like collector boosters may be this whole other separate product line that's just like, I don't know. Bottom line is, I agree with you, AJ. It's going to be wild. They're going to be very difficult to attain. I am going to have a lot of respect for LGSs who sell them at MSRP, because they're just going to go crazy. And here's the other problem with collector boosters is, let's say they are super popular and they sell out instantly, right? Like, if they sell out like instantly, it's very, very difficult now to increase print runs of collector boosters, because you can't increase, I guess you can increase the number of illustrative rares, but if they stick with the standard like 1 per ink with 23, just 138 per set, like it's gonna be very, very difficult to increase print runs of collector boosters, because now you're diluting the illustrative rares across the boxes. So I don't know. I think you can increase the number of illustrative rares, but then I think you make them not quite as special. So I don't know. It's going to be difficult. But in the near term, they are going to sell out very quickly. They're going to be difficult to get. These cards are going to be chased like crazy, and yeah, it's going to be nuts, because there's only 23 of them and they're beautiful and it's crazy. The one thing is, I think they will drive down. They are going to impact the price of standard booster boxes. I think they're going to drive down the price of standard booster boxes. But it may be a good thing, because it'll probably get them closer to MSRP again. Because I think that's what we want, right? Like, we want standard display boosters to have chase cards in them, enchanted iconics, things that awesome things you can hit. But I think we want them at around MSRP. When boxes of Wilds and Attack of the Divine spiked, to $200, $250, etc., especially Attack of the Divine when it came out near release, or when it was like difficult to get at MSRP at release. An interesting thing I heard, the sentiment that I heard from a lot of people is, people didn't seem to have a problem paying MSRP, around the 150 mark, which is what it's always been meant to be. Even though for a long time you could get boxes, at around $100 or about $400 a case. But the thing is, the game stores are making very little on that, like margin-wise, and yeah, it wasn't a great product for them. But MSRP, like somewhere in the $100 to $150 range, and $150 at the top, I think is where we want standard display boosters, right? Like at that price point, I feel like players are more comfortable. Everybody wants to open booster boxes at release weekend, and if collector boosters have the impact of having all of the collectors and everybody like buying up those, and then there being a little less hype around the standard boosters while still maintaining good EV for the chase cards, that's kind of what we want. So I'm really interested to see if that's what happens, if collector boosters become that chase, and then standard boosters are priced right about where we want them. What I don't want, though, and I think the fear, what you don't want is when you open an enchanted card and you get all excited and you get that enchanted and you open the pack in the back and you look at it and you look it up and it's worth like $25, $30, that feels really bad. You want your chase cards, your like case hits, to be worth a decent amount, and so that's the fear. But I think if things are executed right, we could be okay. Like, let's face it. If collector boosters were here for Attack of the Divine, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet would still be an incredibly valuable card. Like, even if there was an increased print run due to collector boosters, like Winnie the Pooh and Piglet would still be bonkers expensive, because it's a beautiful card. So anyway, yeah, Scalper's gonna have a field day. People are pressed at purchasing these boxes. Yeah, I mean, scalpers will have a field day. Yeah. So one of the interesting things, they specifically said, and so in my interview with Elaine, they'll be sold 3 ways. One is to hobby stores, Ravensburger Play Hub stores, she said very specifically. And that's an important, distinction. okay, side note, because distributors will sell to a variety of people. They do sell to LGSs, but there's also plenty of people who have like TCG stores and no physical location who get product or TCG product to open and rip and sell singles and all that. There are people who we see, post a bajillion boxes online on release weekend, and they're going to open them all and just sell those products online. They're not an LGS. These are not Ravensburger Playhub stores. So in my interview with Elaine, she said these are going to be sold 3 places. 1 is Ravensburger Playhub stores. 2 is select Disney parks or select Disney locations. And 3 is online through Ravensburger's online website. But she said the preponderance will go to local game stores. And so scalpers could, have a field day with some of these locations. But the nice thing about them going to local game stores is there is the opportunity for game stores to take care of their local communities and to sell, at least a portion of these products, if not all of them, at MSRP or at a reasonable price to, folks in their community who support the game store. I no shade on any game store who chooses to, get secondary market prices, for these products. I know game stores take risks on them all the time, but going to local Playhub stores feels good, and perhaps that'll insulate them from a certain amount of scalping. But we will see. Scott says you aren't excited to pull the wall. I'm excited to pull any enchanted, Scott. As a side note, I do have a PSA 10 wall because it's enchanted and I love it. So I'm excited to pull any enchanted. I'm just saying for other people. Yeah. Savvy consumer would just buy singles. Yes. But yeah, scalpers. It's difficult. Market forces are market forces, and when you have a product due to hype and the chance of pulling cards or whatever that's selling for hundreds and hundreds of dollars in the secondary market, I mean, scalpers are gonna scalp, and anyway, all right, let me talk more about this card real quick. Before I talk about I do enjoy the focus on the artist, and I love the idea of illustrative rares and really highlighting and celebrating the art. The artist credit on the bottom is beautiful, and what I'm really excited about, what I really want to see in the future is, 1, I do really like that with this first card, and I'm going to make an assumption here. It's not accurate, but I'm going to make an assumption that we're going to see other prominent Disney Lorcana artists with the first 6 illustrative rares. Artists who are very well known in Disney Lorcana and have helped to define the look and feel of the game. Obviously Nick Cole is an obvious example. John Lauren, we could talk about. Grace Tron has a bajillion cards out there. Cam Kendall, who else? Matthew Robert Davies, did a ton of cards and was like the lead artist on set 2. Aubrey Archer. I'm just throwing names out there of artists who are pretty prolific. Ellie Horry, Ari Welly, for that matter, Christian Romero. All of these have become household names in Disney Lorcana, and with the way that they're celebrating like first chapter cards, and they're kind of doing these throwback cards and celebrating like where Lorcana's been, where it's going. Not surprised to see these artists featured, but what this enables them to do, can you imagine them kind of like Secret Lair style in Magic, pulling in artists, either prominent Disney artists or even artists from other card games, to do these illustrative rares. And imagine the artist being a selling point as much as the art for people outside of the Disney Lorcana community. So for example, you did some of this back in the D100 set where you had like Eric Goldberg or Mark Henn, these original Disney animators, do those cards. You could do the same thing here and have like Disney legends illustrate these cards. And then there's this cross appeal outside the Lorcana community among the Disney community. Or bring in you could bring in a prominent Pokemon artist. I can't say the names, but somebody help me. Mitsuharu Harito? I butchered that. You all know who I'm talking about. But imagine having that artist come in and do a Disney card, and there's so many different ways this could go. But yeah, I'm really excited about the artist being focused here. And to me, with these illustrative cards, every single time we get them revealed for new sets, we're going to be looking at the art and we're going to be like, how cool is this art? But then everybody's going to also wonder, who is the artist that we've chosen to feature for this particular card? And that's really, really what I love about them. So, big fan. Big fan. Okay. Yes, I do. Sorry, Constellation Gaming saying, anybody know any other Lorcana news that's not the collector box? Yes, there's a lot. Let me pull up something else. I was just really excited to talk about this illustrative rare, and the collector boxes obviously are the ones that are generating the most discussion. So we already talked about the fact that there's a new digital client coming. We also saw a little bit more of oh goodness gracious, this is so grainy. I'm sorry, y'all. This is people took screenshots of stuff. Take a look here. People took screenshots of stuff, and it's a little, but whatever. We heard more about Hyperia City. There's yeah, the set looks really, really fun. We saw a bunch of cards. Sorry, it's grainy, but you can all read it. This is Mickey and Best in Town, and a couple things we learned from this card. One, once again, Disney has a fun, or Ravensburger has a fun, cheeky sense of humor, and is in tune with Disney because Mickey's ability is Hot Dog. And for any parent out there, you know that Mickey Mouse is Clubhouse's closing song is Hot Dog, done by They Might Be Giants, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a really fun song. So the fact that Mickey's ability is Hot Dog is my favorite thing. We also saw like ink drops before, and like this ink drop being referred to in like previous product views, and we had no idea what they meant. We could assume, but it seems like we're getting that ability here. So it says in the card, Mickey's ability, Hot Dog, says at the end of your turn, if this character is exerted, each player gets one ink drop, and then in parentheses, each ink drop may be removed to pay one ink. So it seems like ink drops are like ink tokens, you know, basically. So you can store them up. We don't know all the rules about them yet, but it seems to be that there's probably a place to hold them, but it says each player gets an ink drop, so it's not on the card. So yeah, there's like temporary ink tokens that you can then pay for things, which is kind of neat. The other thing is, on this card we got a new keyword. So adventurous is like reckless, but slightly different. It's the opposite. So a character can't challenge and must quest each turn if able. So that's all they do. They quest. Also, Mickey's pretty good. You know, in 04, we saw Daisy Duck 1/4 quests for 2. That's pretty good at the time. This is an inkable version of a 2-quester on turn 1. But the downside, of course, is you're basically ramping your opponent, right? Now you're ramping yourself too, but you're ramping your opponent. So Mickey quests, and now you've given your opponent kind of a catch-up mechanic, kind of, for that turn. So kind of cool. Shout out to Gonzalo Kenny, one of my favorite artists too. I believe he's from Argentina as well. Really, really great artist, so really fun. Yeah, Grizzle says, is giving a magic analogy here. Grizzle on YouTube saying, it sounds like it functions like a treasure token, but for both players. Treasure token is the best analogy, I think, except treasure tokens are, you know, artifacts that can be banished, removed, and interacted with. We're not sure if these ink tokens can be interacted with in the same way. They just probably don't share a type with any other kind of card. There probably are cards that say remove all of your opponent's ink drops and things like that, but they're not like, probably not items in the same way that, you know, treasure tokens are. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so that's more news. Pretty cool card. Let me pull up some other stuff. Again, a lot of these are like screenshots that people took during the presentation. So, yeah. Ooh, this is fun. This is fun. So many things. Let's take a look at this. This is a quick thing. That roadmap. This I was expecting because they did this last D23 where they basically gave like the roadmap over the next year. And so we did get our next set beyond Into the Ink Dark. And I don't know if you all remember, but back in the day, in the early days of Disney Lorcana, we found out what sets were like one set in advance. So like when first chapter came out, or let's say Rise of the Floodborn, when Rise of the Floodborn came out, it was released for like a week, and then we found out that the next set was Into the Inklands, and we basically had this rolling thing where we just found out like the next set was out, and then slowly we heard more things in advance. And I think the furthest out we've ever heard about a set at the time was Fabled, where we heard about it like 3 sets out. But now I think it's pretty common practice for us to know what's coming up for the next 3 sets at least, which is kind of cool. I don't know, it just gives us kind of a fun stuff to look forward to. And here they announced, of course we knew about Into the Inkdark. We found out about that when? Was it the last challenge? I forget. I found out about it. At some point recently found out about Into the Inkdark. Really cool, very metal looking set, dark looking set, Hades lead. And then next, it looks like we're going into space with Cosmic Quest, which is kind of fascinating to me. Which is, I don't know, like that's kind of cool. Cosmic Quest, yeah. So we got some key art. I'm going to show you some key art in a second, and it's going to blow all your minds a little bit. I do want to answer a question. Constellation Gaming says, if you quest, then ready this Mickey, do you have to quest a second time? No, I don't think so. Only because you've already challenged with it. I'm sorry, Reckless, you'd have challenged, but you already quested with it. So I think it says it must quest each turn if able. If it's already quested, I think it's safe to ready, and then you don't have to quest for the second time. So I think it's the same as Reckless, and I think that's right. Yeah, Cosmic Quest is interesting. There's so many different things you can do with it. So many different things. Let's take a look at some art here. I'm going to switch back over to my camera for a second, pull up another piece of artwork. Whoop, come here. One day I'll get better. So let's take a look at some key art that I have here. So interestingly, I think this is key art for Cosmic Quest based on the fairy that I saw. And we've already seen key art for everything else. But I'm getting these, I didn't get to watch the presentation because I was working on some other stuff like bedtime and things like that. So if I'm wrong on this, somebody let me know. But based on the Tinkerbell that I saw on the last, like the Cosmic Quest. What's up? Yeah, I think, so anyway, it's super cool. I'm sorry that my camera's covering up a bit of the art, but we have Tinkerbell, goggles, fairies. So it's interesting because Tinkerbell has her whole there's a bunch of different Tinkerbell movies and shows and all of that, and a bunch of different fairy characters. I'm not familiar with all of them, but that seems like what we're getting here is this fairies franchise, which is super fun. And I really wish I knew who the artist for this was. I love the art on this. It's very bright, it's fun, it's colorful. And one alert sounds, R&B, I'm not hearing any alert sounds. I apologize. If there are alert sounds coming through on all of your end and they're aggressive, I apologize. I can't hear them. So I'll have to fix it. I wonder if it's on Twitch. It's probably on Twitch. Sorry, no more alert sounds. What was I saying? Art. Oh, one of the things I really appreciate when you look at the roadmap, Disney Lorcana does a very good job of changing the mood from set to set. And so, for example, going from Whispers in the Well, where it was a very dark, mysterious, kind of gloomy, ominous, noir type set, into Winterspell felt really good. Peter Pan's, thank you for the follow. An appropriate time to follow Peter Pan's, now that Tinkerbell's on the screen. But I appreciate the follow very much. But yeah, so they do a very good job about switching from very dark, like gloomy sets to like happier sets. And we saw the same thing from like Ursula, which was very, very dark and gloomy, and you had entangled glimmers, and it was very ominous, into Shimmering Skies, which was very fun and exciting and all of that. And from Shimmering Skies, which is kind of like a party centered around the Great Illuminary, went on an adventure with Azure at Sea. And so the way that they switch the mood and the theme and the feel from set to set is great because it keeps things fresh. And we're getting the same thing here because we're going from Hyperia City, which seems to be very bright and celebratory, into the Ink Dark, which seems very dark, right? And very villain-centric. And then from there, we're coming out into Cosmic Quest, which is more of a, where not only is Into the Ink Dark like darker feeling in terms of its mood and Hades and kind of like this rock mentality or vibe, but it also feels contained, because if you're in the Ink Dark, kind of like, let's say, the Underdark from D&D, it feels very enclosed and very tight. And then if you're going into Cosmic Quest, it's very wide open and expansive. And so there's this really huge shift from Into the Ink Dark into this Cosmic Quest set in terms of its vibe, from very solid to very free-flowing, from very contained and closed to wide open and spacious. And so I just love that dichotomy, and they consistently do a good job with it. So anyway, this is super cool. Is this a playmat, says Gristle? Probably not. I don't think they were revealing a playmat. This is the key art, I think, for this set, or some of the key art. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it on a playmat eventually, because it's real good. It's just really good. Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised to see this on a playmat. We have seen other key art on playmats before, right? There was one recently. Oh yeah, so Woody and Buzz from Wilds Unknown. The foil Wilds Unknown playmat is the key art from that set. Perfectly Diverse, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. We're stacking up the followers tonight. Thank you all. From a random night stream where I'm digesting the D23 news. I haven't talked about Figment yet. I'm not. I will. So anyway, I love the key art. I really wish I knew who the artist was. It's very Coney or K-Pick, or I guess it could be Mariana. This could be Samantha or Dini. There's so many people who could have done this. Those would be my bets if I had to guess. So anyway, yeah, but I really hope, one other thing on this, I really hope that like there's some fairy, the same way that we have like some really good toy synergy, because fairy decks would be super fun, and so I hope that they all work together in a really fun way. Okay, who do you want to talk about? Oh, this is fun. All right, I'm gonna do this real quick, y'all, because we're on the subject. So let's take a look at just because. Look at this. It's another piece of art. I assumed that the last one was from Cosmic Quest. This is definitely from Cosmic Quest. Obviously announcing that it's coming in the next set, or after Into the Ink Dark, and it's just really cool, right? We're getting this amazing reverse aerial, right? Like, so normally scuba divers underwater, water or like air in the helmet, and now we're getting this aerial out there with the water in her suit, and the vibes are super cool, right? It's giving Jetsons, right? It's giving like 1960s space with the skirt, and yeah, it's just really great. It's just a really great piece and a great vibe. You get some atmosphere in the background there, and the other thing, from a lore perspective, keep in mind is Lorcana happens in a pocket universe, and when we talk about, you hear the term story stars occasionally. These story stars are like they're in the universe, in this pocket universe, and so they seem to be up in space interacting with these story stars in some way, and where you see these stars behind Ariel, and you see kind of these clouds and these wisps coming out of them. That's like this story almost like emanating from the star, and it's really, really kind of cool. I really want to know what that location is back there behind her, those bubbles, that dome. It seems like some sort of space station-y thing, and it's kind of neat. One of the random note, you see the circle and the lines on Ariel, kind of the sacred geometry. This is clear. If this were card art, this is very clearly, to me, a sapphire card, because you have sapphire shape language there in a number of different ways. she's also got some tech, which leads her to, it's very Mage Punk-esque, which is a very Sapphire thing. It's a whole thing I could get into, but anyway, it's beautiful, it's cool, I love it. Okay, last thing. Another thing with these sets, pay attention to even the font in the set. Like so much work goes into, and hold on, let me shrink it here so you can see. So much work goes into just the font and the design of the text of the set name in terms of what it's meant to be. It's really fascinating. One of my favorite things in a Winter Spell discussion that I was having on a main stage was talking to the creator behind the Winter Spell logo, and how all of the characters like hugged each other and how they interacted, and they were really, really tight and warm and cozy, and it was meant to evoke kind of this warm, cozy feeling, and kind of huddling up in the cold, and it's amazing. Like, it's amazing that how much like thought goes into that, like conveying the feeling of the set. So here, you know, what we're getting is, again, 1960s, 1970s vibe in terms of the font, and even just kind of like the star on the top is indicating motion. It's indicating, you know, shooting through space even, and it's just really, really great. You can get such a feel for what the set is supposed to be if you were to just look at the logo for that set and the text. Thanks for the follow, Daniel. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I think that's 10 follows tonight. It's pretty cool. But anyway, so the logo is cool. Everything about this is cool. This is just brilliant. And I can't wait for this card. I also want to know who did this, because it's, I don't know, it's just brilliant. All right, cool. Move on to the next thing. By the way, if you all have something, I saw somebody mention Figment. If there's any particular news that you all want to talk about, let me know. I've got screenshots of some stuff. Where's Figment? Oh, I may not have screen grabbed Figment. No, somebody send me Figment. If you grabbed him. Oh, I have to mention this, by the way. So we'll talk about Figment. Bit of news for you all, like, hey, tomorrow, the stream's coming up. The season of Villainy. They're going to talk about all competitive season 3. This is August 15th, which is tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's noon Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Twitch TV. Go take a look. I think we're going to get, you know, deep dive on what we're likely to see in season 3. Challenges, probably. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Will, subscribing on YouTube, thank you. I never know if YouTube subscriptions are coming from like a live viewer or somebody like on an old video, but in any case, if you're out there, Will, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. For on YouTube. Space Ghost, thanks for the subscription. Also on YouTube. Appreciate you all. Yeah, Planet Salada, season 3 announcements. Super cool. So anyway, set your calendar if you want to hear it live. Obviously, it'll be all over socials and everything else. But here, if I were to speculate, you know, we're going to hear about CCQ, some CCQs already. We already know there's going to be a bunch. 64, I think. We've already heard. Actually, did you all hear there was a CCQ announced for next weekend? Literally next weekend, it was just announced there's going to be a CCQ. So everybody already enrolled in that tournament. Like, congrats. But yeah, wild. So we're going to find out probably more CCQ announcements, but the big thing is probably going to be DLCs. I assume we're going to find out where some of those are. We might also find out like what prizing is going to look like. Who knows? But it's going to be cool, especially if they're devoting a whole stream to it. And we know it has a theme. It's going to be the season of Villainy, so I'm really excited to see how they carry that theme all throughout. But very cool. Make sure you set your clocks. This is going to be cool. The transition sound is loud, you all are saying. I don't know what transition sound. That's fascinating. I apologize. You know what I'll do? All right. I will, if the transition sound is rough for you all, because I can't figure out what's doing it on my end because I'm bad at Streamlabs. I'll figure it out later. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop transitioning, and you all are going to watch me just work here on my other screen. So, yeah, so it's a funny thing. I don't... You all, thanks for pointing it out to me, Perfectly Diverse, Lorcana Adventures. I can't hear it for some reason. So it's not doing it for me, which means it's some sort of setting with the theme. And I didn't even realize it was doing a transition sound. I'm going to be quite honest. So that's, yeah. So I'm just going to stop doing the transition then if it's bothering some of you. And you're just going to watch me work live here. With these things on my desktop. But, yeah, that's what you get. Get live stuff. Which is totally fine. It's just not as polished, which is good. Which is fine. Let's take a look at, oh goodness gracious. There's a lot to look at. Let's look at this. Because I haven't looked at this in detail. This is some Hyperia City stuff. Which is super fun. Because I'm willing to bet... How are we looking here? So this is a map we got of Hyperia City. I don't know if you all can read it, but it has like, you know, Kingswell Port, the Wandering Strait, City Center, Marigold District, Old Town Hyperia, the Greenway. What's really cool about this is that we're getting a bunch more lore. And I think in TCGs, particularly in Disney Lorcana, like the story really matters. So the more that we get to see new original locations and things like that, the cooler it is. The more that we are able to, I don't know, just really dive into that world, and the more it distinguishes it from other, you know, Disney locations that exist. So I just think it's super cool, and I'm really excited to see like the different districts in this city. Yeah, this is cool. I like it. Anyway, I'm not sure what this was in the context of when it was revealed in the stream, but it's just really cool. Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, thanks everyone for the switching scene thing. I'll have to fix that on my end. I'm not sure. It's something on the theme that I'm using. So I'll take a look at that and see if I can fix it. Because the last thing I want is to keep blasting people with annoying noises every 5 seconds. So anyway, this is super cool. Excited to see it. Hyperia City. Yeah. I think somebody sent me the... not sure where Discord's going to pop up, but... yeah, a bunch of location cards. So I saw... I've got some of them here. So, like, let's see. Boom. The Institute of Technology. Honey Lemon's Lab. Super cool. I haven't looked at any of these abilities yet. Once during your turn, whenever super character quests while here, return an item card from your discard to your hand. Oh dear. This could be fun. It's nice. I love the theme. I think these are all like grabs from a big image, it looks like. So I don't have the full image, but I just have some grabs that people did. Because again, I didn't get to watch it. But Con Industries. Is this, yeah, okay, this is a Tailspin, right? Characters can't be challenged while here. 2/8. 5 cost location. You stack up characters here doing silly static ability shenanigans. Home to an ink drop empire. It's kind of cool. Digging it. Let's take a look at this one. I'm reading these for the first time. Merlin's Shop and Smithy. Once during your turn, whenever a character moves here, draw a card and gain 1 lore. Does this font look different to you? Am I crazy? Like, is the font different in the text box? I see your note, Reginald, saying Disney Lorcana Insta showed some more card art. I'm going to take a look at that in a moment for sure. This is the part, I mean, these days where like stuff comes out, so difficult to keep up. All right, let's take a look at Con Stadium. Characters get +2 strength while here. This is a cheeky little card. And I really like this card because of how it plays on Ruby's theme and the fact that you can, especially with rush cards, I mean, you can just all sorts of shenanigans, and it's kind of cool. It can also pairs really well with support, right? It's fun. It's a fun card. People are going to find interesting uses for that. I don't think it's that good, but it's kind of cool. I love this. Look at this. I didn't even notice. Look at that. It's really cool. I didn't even notice there was a marigold bridge here. And this, who did this? Y'all, okay. This probably doesn't come across. But this art goes really hard. There is so much detail. And this is pixelated, so it's not giving it to you here, but there's so much detail back here. Like, look, location cards are difficult because of the kind of the confined. You're asked to do some sort of landscape or something and fit a lot of detail in there, and there's just not a lot of space. There's some location cards that I think are fantastic, but they just don't. I don't know, they don't show well. This art is nuts. The amount of detail back there. It's just dumb. And you have the reflection in the water and these boats there. I'm not even reading what the card does yet. This card goes hard. All right. 4 cost, 1 move, 8 willpower. You have 10 more cards in your discard. This occasion gets +2 lore. Huh. I'll say this. You know, in a world where Be Prepared exists, this card, y'all remember the old strategy, right? Like, be prepared, drop like Queen's Castle, win the game. Now you have a 3 cost locate, or a 3 lore location with 8 willpower you can drop for 4 in the late game. Seems kind of cool. Fascinating card. The art goes hard. I'm just gonna say that. Jamie, if you ever watch this art goes hard, and I'm here for it. Oh, you know what? That makes sense. So this is the Marigold District down there. So this is like... So this isn't... Oh, that's so cool. So this is literally like Coco, like the Land of the Dead, but in Lorcana. So those are all fascinating. I wonder what the rule is on... Is there some sort of rule about glimmers leaving, like skeleton glimmers leaving the Marigold District, or do they have to stay there? This is sick. This is cool. I love this so much. Wow. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm making too much out of this, but like, it's really cool. I'm sorry. It is really cool. All right. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, Boosty Boy's gonna be good with it. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's one of my favorite things I've seen. Let's take a look at this. Speaking of which, snag this and image. There's Pepita. We got an enchanted here. We're looking at from Hyperia City. This card's interesting to me. You know, one of the things I do really like how the enchanteds from different sets have different feel, like a different feel to them, a different flavor. I'm really wondering what we're getting this set. You know, we've gone back here. We do have the gold embossing on the name. We didn't have that for some sets. We've got that here. It looks like gold embossing around the frame, which is interesting. I don't know that we had the frame embossed before. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. We do the smaller lore pip that we're getting, you know, in other enchanteds, but I'm really wondering if there's some sort of special treatment to this. And the rain is one thing I'm focusing on here. I'm really fascinated by the rain. It'd be really cool if that had some sort of like treatment to it, right? I don't know. It's cool. this card. We also saw like the cat version of Pepita. I don't know if I have an image of that, but I do have this. It's really funny. I do have this. There's a Coco story in one of my daughter's bedtime storybooks, where the whole gist of this story is that it's the Day of the Dead, and it's the day before the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, and they're making food for the family for the ofrenda, and they don't know what Hector's favorite food is because they didn't know he existed until like, you know, that year. So Miguel sends Dante and Pepita to the land of the dead to figure out what Hector's favorite recipe is. It's a fun little story, and I read it to my daughter almost every other night because she really likes it. And Pepita, it does have Pepita in that book as a cat, just in the normal world, which I thought was fun. There's so much Disney lore that I get from reading my daughter's bedtime stories. There's a lot there. That's really fun. What's this? Oh, here's a thing. I'll bring that up in a second. I want to look at more cards first. Oh, goodness gracious. Should we look at these? Do we want to go down that road? Wait. Okay, let's look at other stuff first. Whoop. Boom. We'll look at, I'm going to finish up Hyperion City, what I have for that, and then I'll look at a couple other things. Here's another thing. I assume, yeah, we can see that it was cut off. So the abilities are cut off. You know, we're just getting the art here, which is super fun, which is super cool. This car is giving me Roger Rabbit vibes, by the way. But I love the whole feel of the set. Again, it's like a retro feel to it. Donald Duck as a taxi driver here is really great. He's driving on the wrong side. We get, right? Is he leaning all the way? No, he's maybe leaning all the way across the car, I guess. I don't know where that steering wheel is. But anyway, great. Anytime you get any of these iconic characters in like new forms, it's really cool. It's good for the game, and it's fun. I really want to know what Minnie does. 8 costs 6/6. Like, what's she doing? Clearly building locations, right? But what's she doing? I don't know. Brilliant art, though. One thing, as a side note, the Lauren Barger, a Disney Lorcana artist who's very, very prominent on social media, big following. You should go follow her. If you're not following her on socials, you should go right now. Go to Instagram and follow Lauren Barger, Barger. But she's really fantastic. She's really funny. But she has this quote somewhere, and she probably got it from somewhere else. But the quote is, in illustration, a single image bears the weight of narrative. And she's talking about, she wasn't talking about cards at the time. She was talking about like Mermaid or something like that. But I always carry that over here in Disney Lorcana, because one of the things that I always look for in good card art is you're really trying to do something tricky. And that is, one, you need to make the character the focal point of the card, right? So it's clearly about that character, because in this case, it's either Donald Duck or Minnie Mouse. But two, like, you want the card to tell a story. The most boring Disney Lorcana cards that people forget, usually, are ones that don't tell a story. That's just the character, like, legitimately, it's just the character, like, standing there. You know, you could do that, and other TCGs do that, and there are some Disney Lorcana cards that do that. But when a card tells a story, like this Donald Duck taxi driver is, or even Minnie Mouse here, you can see the blueprints, you can see behind her all of the buildings she's mocked up. You're clearly in her studio. Like, that's good art. And I really like this art. All right, enough of this. Sorry, I'm get to the chat in a moment. I'm pulling up more stuff. Here's more stuff. It looks like we're gonna get, I really hope that we get a complete set. I really hope that there's one in every color, right? We're seeing 3 here. Rapunzel, in Amethyst, you have Belle, in Emerald, Mulan, in Ruby. They're clearly meant to be as part of this, part of a set here, of these Dreamborn characters, and I love them. So they're all clearly like masters of their craft too, right? Mulan, martial arts master. Belle, exceptional writer. Rapunzel, outgoing artist. They're taking whatever their like talent, skill that they're known for, and just amplifying it. And I think it's great. I hope that we get one in the other color, or them in the other colors. I don't think I saw any image of the others, but big fan of this theme here. So, more Hyper City. Pre-release October 20th. Add it to your calendar if you didn't know. Pre-release October 16th. There you go. Add it to your calendar now. Super cool. Yeah, somebody was saying, yeah, Legendary seems like all frame breaks. Yeah. Yep, frame break, frame break, frame break. So yeah, they will all be Legendary. Unless they're doing something new. But I wouldn't be surprised to see all these enchanted too, right? Like, it seems like an easy enchanted win. By the way, all this art is great. Love it all. Two things I'll point out. One is like the perspective of Mulan coming at you. It's actually kind of tricky to do characters that are like coming straight at you, which is super cool. But look at this Belle. Look at the costuming. You know, whoever did the costume concept on this, really great. It's giving Emerald City, as well as Jane Austen. So, super cool. Really like that outfit. All right. Let's talk about more stuff. This piece here, oh goodness gracious, where's the full card? There's another piece I wanted to show, but oh, well, here, I'll do this one. I'm not sure where this got snagged from, but these are all the things that I've grabbed from various places. Pepita, Sweet Kitty, there Pepita is. It's a 1 for a 1/3. We love that stat line, and we just keep getting them, which is fun. Boom. Vanilla. Here's Big Pepita in normal, not enchanted form. Melda's right hand. Same card, super rare. Interesting, like, what's interesting about this art to me is it seems kind of stylized, and I kind of love it, right? I mean, it's modern storybook. Disney Lorcana tends to be modern storybook, but like, I feel like this is, yeah, this is stylized. And I think it's really, really great. I really like this piece. There's not, like, okay, this is an example of me, all right, of me immediately countering what I said. I love cards with narrative, right? That say something, that they're telling a story. This isn't telling much of a story, but because of the way that this card is drawn, because it's stylized like it is, I think it's really, really great. I need to look at more of Vanessa Morales' work and see if this is something that, like a style that she's known for. All right. Lorcana Adventure says Minnie's building the spaceship to get them to the Cosmic Quest. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's talking about Roger Rabbit. Vader got Roger Rabbit. Yeah, it does look like Roger Rabbit. It's crazy. Yeah, Moonlight Ink says Flo. Yeah. Sorry, Flo earlier asked, what's Moonlight Ink? It's literally the name somebody made up. It was probably Heather. For these late night chats where I jump on and chat until about midnight or a little after. Usually when I have something to talk about, or when I don't know, feel so inspired. They're not scheduled. Hey Cedric, thanks for stopping by to my random D23 like digestion. We've talked about a lot already. One thing we haven't talked about is this puppy. What's really fascinating, so, you know, we knew when we saw the Heroines collection, I think all of us said, okay, the fact that it says Curator Collection means this is a product line and we're going to get more. And because of the lead time, I think it was pretty safe to assume that it wouldn't be too long before we saw more, because they probably had more in the works, unless it was just a test run. I'm kind of surprised this one is following so quickly on Heroines Edition. Given the gap that we had between the original D23 box and like the D100 boxes and another like kind of secret lair type product, I'm kind of surprised that we get this one this quickly. But what I will say is cool, great. I love how the box looks different. I love how each box has its own theme, its own flair. These all appear kind of styled the same, so they make a cohesive collection, kind of like the Heroines collection does. And yeah, cool. The thing is, they're gonna be hard to get. It's going to be Heron's collection all over again. I do hope that the print run's gone up, although probably not because there's not as much time to adjust. But these are probably going to be pretty popular. I mean, I think it's a popular movie. I think the cards look great. I'm going to show them all here in a second. And it'll be tough to get. And then going back to something I said early on, if you've just joined me, like, I think there comes a point in Disney Lorcana where you're like, you know what? I just have to accept that I'm not going to own everything that I want to own, and I'm going to have to chase stuff for a while. And we're getting there because these products are coming fast and furious. But you know, honestly, if I had a choice between having, like, there being few cards for me to chase and being able to own it all, and there being just a ton of original art and new cards and products that, you know, I'm excited to chase, that I can't get them all because there's just too many. I'd rather have more stuff and more stuff to chase and have to prioritize, because at the end of the day, these cards exist and they're beautiful, and it's cool. Let's take a look at some. Because I got pictures from presentation. All right. I mean, here they are. Super cool. They have the same, you know, rarity symbol on the bottom with the promo, and then this foiling on the side. The artists are super cool. These are Disney Lorcana mainstays. Lady Sherilyn's been around. I think her first credited piece, Lady Sherilyn, is actually in set 2. Not a set 1 artist. I think she came along in set 2, and she's co-credited with Matthew Robert Davies on a piece. Might have been the Queen. But anyway, she's been around ever since, and every set has beautiful pieces, and this is no exception. Interestingly, Gaku Kamitori is a set 1 artist. He's been around for quite some time. Gaku is one of there are not many Japanese artists in the game, actually, considering how prolific they are in other TCGs. There's a few that I'm aware of, but Gaku is the original, and I think the only Japanese artist from set 1. Somebody I'm dying to meet. But yeah, so cool seeing him here. So we're getting some, again, Disney Lorcana mainstays here. These cards are great. And like, the other thing is, I don't know if you noticed, but these are very playable cards. I'm gonna take a look at those in a moment, but Beast Tragic Hero is still a very good card. And very popular, probably still worth a decent amount, even though he's out of rotation and all the way back from set 2. And Gaston Intellectual Powerhouse also saw a decent amount of play. So really interesting reprint here that, yeah, they picked some good stuff. Let's see if the others follow suit. Love it. What we got here? I haven't looked at all these yet. Again, so Belle Hidden Archer saw a little bit of play. It is a legendary from set 2. But look at that art. It's absolutely fantastic. Once again, Lady Sherilyn. She has 2 pieces in this set. And just a beautiful card. All of them seem to have like this stained glass kind of look to them. And you can see in the background. Some people have been talking about the foiling on these. I am sure they showed them. I didn't see the foiling, if there was an animation or whatever. But you can kind of, I think you can kind of intuit what that foiling is going to look like, because I can assume that it's going to be broken up and reflective, kind of like stained glass. Lumiere here is done by Ellie Hori, one of my favorite Disney Lorcana artists out of Brazil. Ellie's been around for quite some time as well. I think as far back as set 3 is the earliest I remember her, but probably set 2. But one of our artists from Brazil, and she's delightful. A lot of cards in the game. So once again, we're sticking to Disney Lorcana artists. And Lumiere, again, is a card that saw competitive play for a time and still has his uses. And Belle is just a cool card. I don't know that she saw too much competitive play, but she's a cool card. So really impressed with all the cards they picked so far. Let's check this last one here. Be Our Guest. Very good card, still played. Emily Aberdia, also an artist who's been around for a while. This is a great looking card. And then over on the right, Mrs. Potts. Probably the first card I've seen that I'm like, doesn't see a ton of play. But R.I.P. Julie Andrews. Like, really glad Or, sorry, Angela Lansbury. My bad, not Julie Andrews. Alert, Julie Andrews is fine. Angela Lansbury, like, love that she's getting her due here. And, yeah. When you play this card, if you're carrying your cards and playing with your draw card. Yeah. Fun. Not an artist I'm familiar with, though. There's been a lot of artists recently, so I'm sure this is a Disney Lorcana artist who's been around. Sebastian Lozano. Google Sebastian. But yeah, great. So, I don't know. Anybody excited about this? Because I'm excited about this. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Glizzy's yet, Vader. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but no, I don't think I have. SF says, hey, Dark Steady Brian, thanks for the raid. All 80 folks coming in here. We're talking about news from today. I appreciate you. I hope you had a great stream. But thanks for stopping by. As I kind of digest what's going on. Also, I missed that Earl said hi earlier. Hey, Earl. Always a pleasure to see you. I know it's really early over there if you're not traveling. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Always a pleasure. Yeah, these announcements are so hyped. Love it. Vader says, curious they chose set 9 for Lumiere's collector number. Yeah, it's an interesting point because you could have put them earlier, right, instead of the reprint number, but I don't know. I guess 61 half dozen of another, but it is interesting to choose the reprint. These are foil. Yes, they are. Murder, She Wrote equals Mrs. Potts. Yes, that is true. Very excited. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be great. All right, 1:30 p.m. there. Oh yeah, so you're fine. You're fine. It's interesting. All right. So what have we not talked about? We talked a lot of stuff. I mean, here's something else. Something small. I did not hear this announcement. But based on the image, safe to say, because I didn't get to watch most of the stream, but and I didn't hear this one. Safe to say that they're going to continue to do these collection quests on cruises. What's interesting is I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I saw and what I've collected earlier on, that the collection quests were not necessarily, they just used other collection quest booklets and used them for the sea, but here we have. Actually, have they done collection quests on cruises? They did Learn to Plays. Yeah, they did. But these are specifically branded Quest at Sea, which is super fun, and yeah. I wonder if anybody watched the stream, did they announce they're changing up the promos? Or are they doing more cruise promos? Or are they keeping the same ones? I'm not sure. But in any case, I really like this. It shows Disney leaning into Disney Lorcana. It's exposing new people to the game. And it's, I don't know, I think it's appropriate and a lot of fun when Disney Lorcana exists at various Disney properties and things. So super cool. One note, I collect random Disney Lorcana ephemera, so if anybody goes in a cruise and gets one of these quest booklets with the Quest at the Sea thing on it, even if it's stamped, I'll buy it from you, because I'm nerdy like that. What's this? So, we also got this. Visual guide through the realm. So this is highlighting, is this an art book? Well, we already got an art book, but... Oh my goodness, yeah. It's crazy. This is super cool. Q1 2007. Looks like some brilliant art here. This key art, I guess we could call it key art, even though it's just kind of a montage. Because if you look, there's all of these different pieces from different sets. There's so many little Easter eggs you can go into here. I mean, look, all the way back in set 1 here, you have Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. You have Ink Runners over here from Into the Inklands. Back here, this is Arcasia's Island, right? This is the Water Maze. This is Moana's ship. This is the Pirate's Lagoon. Here's Honey Wizard, Brave Little Tailor. We got Marshmallow back here. There's just so much going on. Here's Cinderella Stouthearted. Is that? Oh, it's Shanzei here. And Amazu. I blanked on his name for a moment here. Any other Lumineers? Oh, there's Martin up here, which means Venturo's got to be here somewhere. Where's Venturo? Oh, Venturo's over here. Yeah. just sick. It's very cool. Very cool. So we're getting all the, all this art here. And then that's going to, that was teasing this visual guide through the magical realm coming Q1 2027. If there's one product I need, it's this, because this is very cool. And again, this is not just celebrating the art, but it's going to be, I assume, kind of helping with the world building and expanding, what we know or about the world of Lorcana, the realm of Lorcana itself, which is very, very cool, because I think that does really matter. The lore of the world, the story of the world, all of that really, really, really matters. So that's cool. Big fan. All right. What else are we talking about here? We already talked about collector boosters. We talked a bit about the digital client. If you all haven't seen it, make sure... Oh, there's something else random here. But if you haven't seen it, make sure you are following, Disney Lorcana's Instagram as well. I hear they're posting some photos there, some new stuff, which is super cool. Here's something else random, by the way, that somebody clued me in on. At the 23 club, or the 33 club, they had like swag bags for folks, I guess. And I saw this reported some places that this was in the swag bag at that club, which is really, really fascinating. I kind of want it because I kind of want one of these for the old ephemera collection, because it looks super cool. Clearly this is an envelope kind of like the old promo envelope from the original D23, but it has a lot of these park promos here. And you're getting the Fable Trove, and you're getting the Lore Book, and so, yeah, like, kind of crazy. So these aren't for purchase. These were, I think these were like swag items for the Club 33 folks, but it's kind of cool. But again, it's Disney like leaning into the card game, which is super awesome. Figment updates. Oh yeah, sorry, let me find Figment. I assume somebody sent it to me here. Yeah, thanks, Rudy. All right, hold on. Pull up Figment. Because this is something people have been asking for ages, in two parts. One, everybody has been asking for park promos, right? Like, of park characters. And I think... From what I heard early on, it sounded like it wasn't going to be for a while, if ever. Figment was the one specifically that people wanted, because I think it's the easiest to like say, okay, that's a Disney Lorcana character. Yeah, people asking for Figment. Anyway, all it is to say, look at this. Here it is. It's Figment in all its glory, as a Disney Lorcana card, as a Magical Places promo, which is super cool. One thing I'm curious about is I suspect I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I did not hear the stream, so I may be saying something that you all already know. So tell me if I'm right or wrong here. But it could be that this promo version of Creative Inspiration, this card, which will be coming out with another set, that the actual Lorcana version printed in the packs does not have Figment on it. It could be that Figment is coming to the world of Lorcana, sort of, but in actual packs, we're not getting Figment, we're getting some other character, but then for this Magical Places promo, we're getting alternate art. That might be a thing that's happening. I'm not sure. Because I think that would be a really interesting way to do these Magical Places promos. Collector Quest at Epcot. Yeah, that's super cool. So I wonder if it'll have different art. Clearly to this point, thanks for the follow, Lorcana Era, by the way. Everybody is finding like different ways to take Lorcana and like spin it into a name, and it's really, really cool to see the creativity. Yeah, so we're familiar with a different card frame for Magical Places promos. I just wonder when we'll get like alternate art for them, and it would be cool if that was the case, if you had Like, let's say, but you could only do it with actions, right? Because everything else is a character name. Like, let's say there was some sort of, like, I don't know. Ooh, good one. Like Spooky Sight, for example. You could take Spooky Sight, and instead of having, the big 3 on it, you could have the hitchhiking ghosts from, the Haunted Mansion. And just same card, just different artwork, but exclusive to the parks. So you're kind of bringing them to the world of Lorcana, but not really. I think that would be elegant. Somebody write that down. That's a great idea. Pitch it to Ravensburger. Spooky Sight with the hitchhiking ghosts. You heard it here first. TM. I don't know. Yeah, Parks characters, actual cards. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be fine. I'd like those too. I'd like to have Figment battling, Maleficent Dragon. But still, I think it would be cool to do. I think it would be cool to do them as alt art stuff too. Yeah, Halloween special events. So funny story. For those who actually I have them over there. I'm not gonna agree. I try to get stuff off my shelves occasionally, but I have to go around things. It's a big pain. But I have a little cubicle over there, a little cube full of Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom cards. And back when they did Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, they did event exclusive promos. So there is like an Oogie Boogie Bash, or no, a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party promo card that was given out 1 year for that event, and it was, Halloween themed. And they have a Christmas one, and there's a couple other events. But I really, really like that. And I would love to see like event, like limited edition cards at the parks. And they did it for Sorcerers, so there's already like, precedent there. So super cool. All right, I'm gonna check some things. I'm gonna bring this up again because I want you all to know and sign up if you haven't yet. We talked about this earlier, but if you're just getting here and you didn't hear, digital client is in the works. The big reason I mentioned it is if you're interested in this at all, if this is your jam, make sure you scan this code and sign up for digital game updates, because I assume at some point they're going to want beta testers, people to stress test, things like that. And I'm sure if you're somebody who's excited about the digital client, that might be something you're interested in. So I want to make sure everybody has a chance to get on this list for game updates if it's something you're interested in. So I don't know, scan the QR code, check it out. Be cool. All right. Oh, excuse me. A couple other things. What did I miss? Anybody else sent me anything on Discord to talk about? Anything else? What did I mean, I'm sure I missed a bunch, and I'm sure, what normally happens with these things is, you have the panel, and then, before I switch scenes, I'm gonna make sure there's nothing else. You do the panel, and then, like you get used to all the news, you're talking about all the news, and you get all the downloads or whatever, and then there's like an embargo that lists, and then like all the socials get flooded with a whole bunch of other stuff that's been fed to media outlets. So I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff out there that I haven't seen or talked about or know about or whatever, but yeah. One more PSA if you're getting here late again. Make sure if you're interested in competitive season 3, keep an eye on Disney Lorcana's Twitch tomorrow. I think they're billing this as like a live lorecast. I think I heard, maybe, I don't know, but they're going to talk about season 3, season of villainy. We're going to get a lot of news. It's going to be really cool. So if you're into the competitive scene at all, or even just DLCs and want to know, when those are going to be so you can go, make sure that you check that out. Steven, I see you over there on Twitter. Thanks for stopping by so late. I did talk about the visual guide earlier. The visual guide is super cool. I didn't hear the panel presentation though, so I didn't hear the description of it, but it seems pretty self-explanatory from the cover. Pseudo art book, but also probably like talking about the different locations and characters and the lore, which is really kind of cool. I don't know, I kind of love it. I love Big Tink, like right back there. So, and I love that her nickname is Big Tink. It's super cool, but all it's gonna be really cool. Enchanted Hot Dog. I did not show Enchanted Hot Dogs Mickey Rudy because I downloaded it somewhere and now I can't find it. I have this, but I assume we saw the whole card somewhere. I guess it's the most important part, though. Here's Enchanted Hot Dog Mickey. I'm sure that the whole card is out there, but that's all I got. Yeah, it's really cool. I wonder, or is this iconic? Is this iconic? This looks iconic to me. Did they yeah. It has to be, right? Yeah. Yeah, Lorcana Adventures. I was gonna say, somebody said Enchanted, but like they didn't tell me what this was, or I just got the image of it. But as soon as what's tipping me off, like it has this iconic flair. You have the way that everything's floating, in the gold embossing on that. But you can see the representation here of the lore foiling, and it has a name, and I'm forgetting what it is. But yeah, so that's that special iconic like lore foiling on it. So, yeah, this has to be iconic. It's crazy. Yeah, okay, that's the iconic version since original. Yeah, this is nuts. Yeah, good stats for an Eleanor deck. Yeah, did you all? If you didn't see it, I'm gonna pull up side by side. I have the regular version too, and you can actually see the ability. Because the ability is kind of cool. Because it's a card with a draw back, but also, oh, where is it? Shoot. No, I can't find it. It has a drawback to it, but it could also be a benefit. I literally showed it earlier. Oh well. So, okay. If anybody has it and you have me on Discord, go ahead and send it to me if you're bored. Because I literally can't wait. Ha, that's why I can't find it. Look, who's yelling at me that it's on my desktop here? That's so funny. Okay, so here's the for those who didn't see it earlier, here's the actual stats. So it is 1 for an 04, quest for 2. It can't challenge, it only quests. And Daisy Duck, you know, it has Daisy Duck stats, right? But Daisy Duck used to be able to do a little fighting. She could challenge in with some boosts and stuff like that. But anyway, the downside, though, sorry for the pixelation, is that at the end of your turn, if this character is exerted, each player gains 1 ink drop. And ink drops seem to be basically like treasure tokens, but you can't interact with them the same way. Basically like little stores of ink that you can use once. The interesting thing about it is a downside in that it immediately ramps your opponent and gives them like a catch-up mechanic. So now you're putting them up in ink on their turn and kind of giving them an edge. But because each player gets one, it also gives you an ink drop. And so if you're planning on, you know, curving this and then questing on 2, you can set your curve up so that you're hitting a 4-drop on 3 that you want to hit. And so even though you're kind of ramping your opponent on their next turn, you can then curve that into, you know, a nice 4-drop. So Eleanor, as an example, you know, you could go 1-on-1, 2-on-2, and then Eleanor on 3 without a Willow, you know? So kind of cray. It's probably gonna be good. Also, shout out to the ability that I mentioned earlier, Hot Dog. For anybody with kids, you know that the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse closing song is Hot Dog, Hot Dog, Hot Diggity Dog, courtesy of They Might Be Giants. And the fact that Mickey Mouse is shouting Hot Dog, to me, is so fun. You know that's what they had in mind, right? So it's super cool. Probably going to be broken, and yeah, no surprise that Mickey gets an iconic card. And I will say this, I love all iconic cards. They're all beautiful. Some I like better than others. I really like this from what I'm seeing of it so far. Mickey Mouse, fantastic dynamic pose here. It's just really fun. And it also Like, again, it's a silly thing, but for a certain generation, Hot Dog is an iconic song. And so to see Mickey with a hot dog ability is just really clever and fun. So an iconic card, to be sure. Also, as somebody joked, but funny story. Thanks, Earl. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well. But yeah, this is gonna be sick. Yeah, Toodles when says Lorcana Adventures. Yeah, when we get a Toodles card, I'll be excited. Also, but sorry. Last note on this card. This was shown in a Discord server that I'm in earlier, and somebody said, quoted it and tagged me and said, Liam about to say, "Look at the ember-shaped language in that mustard." And I laughed because I was like, "Yep, absolutely true. Look at the ember-shaped language in that mustard." I'm gonna put that in a mug. I need that on a sticker. Yeah, this is great. So, I don't know. I know there's all sorts of angst about collector boosters, which I talked about at the opening of the show this evening. All sorts of angst about the collector boosters and everything else, but this card here, this iconic card, I think will still be a huge chase in this set. This card's gonna pop off in the secondary market, and it's still gonna be available in display boosters. And so you won't be able to pull those serialized cards, but this is still a chase in display boosters, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna support the value of those boxes, and yeah, it's really good. I really want to know what the other one is now, because it has to be. I mean, it has to be the Mini Architect, right? Like, I mean, it has to be one of the Fab Five, but if it's not this, like, it has to be Mini Urban Visionary, right? Because you have to have Mickey and Minnie. I mean, you could have Donald, but like, it just seems too perfect not to have, or to have Minnie. So, yeah, Eric, it is time for bed, especially since I'm going to stream all day tomorrow. Charlie's is coming up tomorrow. I will be streaming that all day on my Twitch and YouTube along with Katie. So you can tune into that, which means you are right. I probably should start to go to bed. But before I do, last couple things. I'm going to revisit one or two things that I'm just really excited about and want to talk about. If you didn't see it, this is super cool. They do have a roadmap, which I showed earlier, but we are getting the set name for after Into the Ink Dark. It is Cosmic Quest. I talked all about why I love this so much, but it's a brilliant piece of art. Ariel in a spacesuit with the water, and we're getting, like, it's giving Jetsons, right? It's giving 1960s space. It's really, really cool, and yeah, big fan. Yeah, Scott knows how I do my streams. Last couple things. 4 hours later. Okay, one last thing before I go to bed. Yeah, that's what I do. Okay. Cosmic Quest, and yeah. All right. I'm gonna do transition. Warning. Transition noise, everybody. Warning. Here it comes. I'm gonna fix that. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'm gonna fix that later. All right. Yeah. All right. That's my quick down and dirty digest of all the Disney D23 news. There, after hey, Earl, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you very much, as well as everybody else who stopped by. Perfectly Diverse saying, I think the collector boosters will absorb some of the loose capital big spending collectors are using to buy the regular boxes. I think that is true. I think that we will see the collector boosters, the prices reflect on the standard boosters. And I don't think the standard boosters are going to go that low, but I think we're more likely to see them down around MSRP where they used to be, as opposed to $200 a box that we saw them at the opening of Attack of the Vine. So I think that all in all, it could be a good thing. I'm cautiously optimistic. But yeah, so stay glued to socials. One thing I was going to say, we know once this news once we start getting this news, these panels come out, we start seeing stuff for the next set, especially now that we've kind of the bottle has been uncorked for Hyperia City, and we're getting a bunch of that. We'll start to get it through different media sources and social media and the Disney Lorcana Discord pretty rapidly over the next few weeks. So just stay plugged in, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I do want to say a big shout out to the Ravensburger team for a really cool panel. I think a lot of us had things that we were hoping for coming out of D23, and I think like all the news that we were asking for the most part, like we got that and more from the panel yesterday, combined with the panel we're getting tomorrow about competitive play. We're getting season 3 news. We're getting news about a digital client. I don't think anybody thought we were actually going to get that, but there's news about a digital client. We're getting like visual guide, art book-ish. It's not pure art book, I don't think, but it's pretty close. New curators collection. We're getting news about the next set beyond Into the Ink Dark. We got news about the collector boosters and a new rarity, serialized rarity. Like more news than we could have imagined about what's coming up in the next couple of years of this game, and so that's super cool. So thanks to Ravensburger for putting that together. Also, I'm going to plug something on my channel real quick. And I'm going to put it in the chat here. If you didn't see it, I owe it to them to shout it out. I did get the opportunity to do a exclusive interview with Elaine Chase about collector boosters and about the illustrative rare cards. I pared it down to about 15 minutes, but I got to ask some questions about what the intent of collector boosters are and the collector booster experience. It was really kind of fun. It was really gracious of Elaine to take the time, like right before she was boarding a plane, to chat with me. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, I appreciate you going and checking it out. It's about 15 minutes long, but it does go over, those two things in pretty good detail. Well, not pretty good, but it goes over those two things, and I'm pretty excited to have done it. So that's super cool. Swipa says the Poke Bros will be coming into these collectors boxes hard. 100% they will. And you know what? I'm going to just throw it out there. It's not only the Poke Bros. It'll also be sports card collectors. This is the kind of thing that sports card collectors love. There's a lot of people who collect various sports who have no interest in those sports, but you're chasing lottery cards, you're chasing expensive cards that are desirable, and these illustrative cards are going to be worth a lot of money, and there's a lot of people who are gonna enter the hunt for them who have no. Here's the thing, like when Middle Earth came out, the Magic set, and they had like the one ring that you could chase that was worth millions of dollars. How many people were ripping that set who never played Magic ever? How many people were ripping that set who had no idea what Magic was? Lots of them. So yeah, these collector boosters are going to be really in demand by folks who are from outside our community, because they're beautiful cards with the limited edition and they're going to be expensive. Yep, these are the kind of things that get Rudy's attention. Yeah, in fact, if Rudy's not making a video about this tomorrow, I'll be surprised. Yeah, all right. Somebody, you can clip this, whatever. Rudy will make a video about this within the next, let's say, week. I'm pretty confident. We'll see it if it happens. But yeah, it's gonna be nuts. Planet Citadel says, I just realized that the transition time isn't loud. Your mic is just. Yeah. Okay. That is a common complaint. That is something I will fix. Sorry, Citadela. I've got cloud lifters I need to install for these streams. That is going to be my answer. Yep. So I'll work on that. But I bought cloud lifters very specifically for this. It's a dynamic microphone, so it's a whole thing. Anyway, sorry. What else can you say? Check out that video. Cause it's pretty cool. I've got another couple of videos coming out here soon. I had one that I was really excited about. It's on like design, like ink design and ink theory and like shape language, and it was really cool. And I put a lot of work into it, and I'm gonna do a really cool thumbnail. And I can't post it now for the next like week because all the content space is gonna be dominated by all the news from D23. So I gotta wait. But got a lot of fun projects coming out here soon. Also, don't miss the stream tomorrow. Definitely watch the Disney Lorcana streams. But if you're looking for something else, we're going to be streaming Charlie's both here and Katie Lorekeeper's In channel to cover that 50K invitational that's going on this weekend. So that'll be going on. Swipe, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. And thanks for hanging out in the comments. Earl, Earl said, in a very nice comment, your YouTube comment is so fire. The improvement since day one has been crazy insane. Earl, you set the bar really high when you started your streams, and I'm just trying to catch up to your quality, man. So I still, your editor, so good. So I'm still trying to catch up to what you do. But I appreciate the compliment. And then also, don't miss next Monday. Monday night will be, doing our normal Monday night live stream. Obviously, we'll probably be focusing pretty exclusively on the D23 news because, yeah, so you're going to get a lot of my thoughts there again, but I'll be doing it with Logan as well as some other guests. I'm not sure who yet. I have some ideas, some fun ideas. We'll see who we can get on, but Monday night, 8 o'clock Central. For our normal Monday night live streams, let's talk Lorcana. And yeah, other than that, appreciate the likes, appreciate the follows, the subscribes, everything you all do for the channel. And with that, I should just go. I'm bad at goodbyes. I should just go. I'll see you all later. I'll fix my volume. And yeah. Oh, last thing. Before I go, I will drop the link to the Discord. If anybody's interested in hanging out between shows or news or whatever, do a fun Discord server. And I like share it. But the big reason is because we're doing a lot of coconut stuff now too. So if you're interested in that format, we actually built out the server recently to talk coconut decks as well as the latest news and all that. So feel free to jump in and participate in the conversation. I am looking for a few more mods, so if anybody wants to help me with that, I'm bad at Discord, so I could use the help. So there's that as well. All right, I'll see y'all later. Transition scene coming. Here's your warning. Transition to the streaming. Sorry. All right. If anybody's streaming Lorcana, I'm going to try to do a raid here. If you're watching on YouTube, we're over. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to try to raid somebody. So if you're just hanging out. But I don't know if anybody's doing Lorcana at this time of night. Earl, who's doing Lorcana? Just me. All right. All right. I don't think there's anybody to raid. You all are awesome. Thanks for hanging out.